Hello and welcome. My name is Don Sullivan and I'm a former shop owner from Surrey, British Columbia. I want to thank you for investing your time with me today. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to introduce you to a very powerful software application that will revolutionize the way you sell maintenance. Not only will it provide a better customer service experience, but it will help you grow your business with your existing clientele and it will make you more profitable. Service Intelligence is maintenance tracking for the family-owned vehicle. The software company was founded about 20 years ago by George and Tico, and I'll tell you, it's been the best kept secret in the industry. But today, I'm going to let you in on it. First of all, I have a couple of questions. Wouldn't it be awesome if our management systems could tell us the average daily miles or kilometers driven? Wouldn't it be awesome if our management system automatically told us when the last fluid flushes were done? How about the last time the cabin air filter was replaced? No more glove compartment contents needlessly dumped on the floor. Would it help if our systems could predict when the next oil change was due? Now that would really help us pre-book the next appointment. We can do that now, but we would waste over an hour a day scrolling through past history and manually doing the calculations. Can you imagine if you had to search the history of 20 services for every customer? I can tell you that's not going to happen. Do we even have the time to review 4 or 5 on one customer? Do you know how many services aren't being done? Shouldn't we know that? Do you realize what impact that would have on your business if you did know? If you knew, you could do something about it. So here's the process. First is to identify up to 30 maintenance items that should be tracked. They're the ones that naturally reoccur throughout the life of a vehicle. Then we age them all by time and mileage as to when they should reoccur. So far, this can mostly be found in our owner's manual. Now here's the secret. We search your sales history in your database on every vehicle and we log the date and odometer reading with each sale of every part, every fluid, and every lubricant. We calculate the average distance driven per day based on the last 3 service visits. With all that information, we do the math to predict the due date for each of those 30 services. Now here's where you shine, because none of your competitors are doing this. Now you can present your customers with a comprehensive summary report of every maintenance item on their vehicle. At the click of a mouse, your report identifies each service and its predicted due date. It's even categorized each item as overdue, due now, not due yet, or has never been performed. Your customers will be wowed at the level of care and detail that you're giving their vehicles. You've probably noticed that women are the major portion of your client base now. I can tell you that they really appreciate the extra value the reports give them. You move them from a sense of vulnerability to a position of control as they make a decision based on facts. To see it in print gives them a peace of mind. Women, if they feel well taken care of, are also the ones to recommend their shop to other friends or to share it on social media. It's always good news when you show them the 20 services that don't need attention, and it's only these 4 or 5 that we should take care of today. Considering that the cheapest service is probably a rotation, what would the extra sale be worth if you were to just get authorization for 2 or 3 services per oil change? On average, my shop was getting an additional 2 services on top of the list they came in for. That's why I think it's the best kept secret in the industry. This is probably the first time you're hearing about it, and I know I struggled for 8 years trying to do a great job with tracking maintenance for my customers, and I know you struggle with that also. If you listen to any coach, they say that maintenance is the future of our business, but there was always a black hole on how to do that effectively with minimal time spent. I'm convinced that whoever has a way to track it properly will lead the industry. Right now, you're probably using something like ALLDATA or Identifix for the manufacturer's recommended services, and those are great tools. But again, you have to review multiple pages to see what was due in the past or what's due in the future. On our counter, we tried to review the recommendations on every vehicle, But you know what happens when you get too busy or you've had a change in service advisors? So at that point, what most of us do is we put the vehicle in the hands of our technicians or even in the hands of our apprentices, and we expect a comprehensive inspection to identify areas of maintenance and concerns. So I wonder, have you ever missed calling for a timing belt or a transmission flush or a GDI service? Do you realize what that could cost the customer if we missed it? If everyone was too busy or too inexperienced to do a manufacturer's service review or a proper inspection, we could go for years without rotating tires or replacing the cabin filter or even flushing the caustic coolant. At my shop, we also used a CRM, or a customer retention marketing program, that sent reminders by emails or postcards for the current recommended services. What I hated was the embarrassing phone calls from a client who just received a postcard saying a coolant flush is due, and they proceeded to remind me that the thermostat was replaced 3 months ago and the coolant was flushed at that time. Or they just received an email stating they're due for a brake fluid flush, and they ask, "Why didn't you flush the fluid when the brake job was done 4 weeks ago?" Missed services could cost the customer unnecessary repairs due to premature component or even system failure, and duplicated service recommendations could cost you your reputation. So to put the icing on the cake, Service Intelligence has a CRM component which informs the customer by email of the status of every maintenance item for each of their vehicles. It's their information in their hands that allows your clients to make an educated decision and gives a chance for our service advisors to truly advise on the maintenance requirements of each vehicle. If you're still not convinced that Service Intelligence is the best kept secret in our industry, then let's go even one step further. We know that every customer's brakes are continually getting closer to needing a service or replacement. You can now send a brake special to every customer in your database that needed a brake service or replacement within the previous 3 months. That means that they didn't come in when they were due, so we stand a good chance of losing them to an emergency service at another shop. We could send that same promotion every 3 months, and we would always be sending out to a new group of customers. Keep in mind that they have been advised, but they may have forgotten that it's required. The beauty is that we've already talked to them once about their brake service coming up, and they've just been reminded by their quarterly service reminder, and now they receive a promotion. Now that's true, effective target marketing, and it's absolutely relevant to their current needs. I was talking with Tim of Tim's Automotive in Clackamas, Oregon, and he said that within an hour of his first brake promotion, he was getting phone calls and was filling up his schedule. So why not run multiple promotions at critical intervals, such as wiper blades in the rainy months, or cabin filters at the beginning of the AC season, seasonal tire changeovers a month before the rush? The only ones who will receive the promotions would be those customers that hadn't returned for the services when they were due. It's not like a reward program where everyone gets a coupon towards their next service. I tried that. But what's the sense in giving money away to our regular clientele? They're already getting awesome service for a great price. It's the ones that didn't come back that we have to spend hundreds of dollars to replace them with a new customer. Internal marketing is the cheapest and most effective marketing to do because we've already had a touch point with them and they are familiar with us. I want to thank Mike of Hal's Auto Care in Sacramento for his definition on repair versus maintenance. If a technician had to find a dirty air filter or aged coolant, then it's a repair. And that's only because they had to spend valuable technician time to find it. But if it's identified at the front counter, then it's maintenance. I think that's a very reasonable conclusion to make. We all know that maintenance is good for the car to keep it running properly. It's also good for the customer for safety and reliability. And it's good for the company because if it's running good, they're less likely to buy a new car with prepaid maintenance and we lose them for a few years. It's also good for the company because we're performing more profitable work with less expensive apprentices. And hey, if you're a shop owner, you know that the availability of good technicians is a huge problem in today's labor market. So, I hope I've struck a chord of agreement on the net value of performing more maintenance in your shop, in the way of both a healthier bottom line and in assisting you in enhancing the customer service experience. Either way, I want to thank you for investing your time to listen to a former shop owner's rant. On this page, you'll find a link to start your 30-day trial, and I urge you to click it now. I really want you to see for yourself the thousands of dollars in under-serviced vehicles that are left on the table each day. So start that trial today, and together we're going to recover those lost sales.